Okay, originally I started off on one tangent and then went to another. The whole goal is, do you need air in an aquarium? And then I added anteaters. Probably yes and no on both of those. So let's get to it. Is air needed using HOBs? If you don't know what an HOB is and you're new, it's a hang on the back filter. And as all y'all know, if you use a hang on the back filter, well, if you don't have an air stone or air pump, well, you're not going to get oxygen. Okay, it depends, in my personal experience, alright? As long as the water circulation is happening at normal water temps, 72 to 78, then most likely not, okay? If you're going hotter than that, I would say you probably do, especially if you're raising the temperature for ick and you don't have any air at all. It's a water exchange type deal. If you don't have enough bubbles to break the surface tension, well, you could run into issues. All right. Air can enter, the water if you're using the HO back or hang on the back filter. But again, hey, a little buddy come to join me. Sorry, donuts down there at my feet. Um, um, eh, that's fine. But until you get about above 82, it probably becomes more needed, if you will. Okay, let's keep going. I want to keep this short. Um, you know, and now obviously I've moved into temperature. Um, you know, if you're a live bear, and again, I'm not going to talk about if you're keeping freaking goldfish, or if you're keeping uh arowanas, or if you're keeping angelfish, or those beautiful discus. I'm not going to talk about any of that. I'm only talking about live bears, okay? Keep in mind, at the very top, live bears, okay? And that includes all your live bears, endlers, mollies, platies, guppies, on and on and on. They're mostly fine in 72 to 78. You can keep them at 80 if you want. You can keep them at 70 if you want. That's fine. Now, last year, I had a summer pool outside. I don't know if any of y'all saw the videos. But anyway, it got as high as 90 freaking degrees. Now, keep in mind, these are captive guppies I put out there. Now, I put them out there when they were 72 to 74 degrees, I believe. I was a little late, joining the revolution on an outdoor pond. Let's be honest. It was a glorified baby pool that held 90 gallons, all right? So, anywho, but they made it. I was absolutely shocked. There were times during the upper end of the day, I did temperature readings in the water. It was 90 degrees, and at night it could drop as low as 70, 68, 65. So anyway, I was absolutely shocked they survived. So live bears can probably do an extreme difference. Is it good for them? No, it's not, people. All right. Now, keep in mind, outside, I had an AP 100 pump going the whole time, because I knew I had to get oxygen in that water. Okay? Now, there were also live plants in the water. I believe I had Java moss and Java fern or hornwort, maybe. Whatever. There's a video if y'all want to go back and look at my pool pond, quote-unquote pool pond. But they did all right. So they can make it, but are they thriving or surviving? No, in this case, they were surviving, I believe. Now, the cool thing is when I brought them all back in and put them in their own quarantine tank, I didn't save them all, sadly. As the temperatures got lower, I couldn't grab everyone out of there. I tried. They slowly died off once it started getting below 65. You know, when I'm saying below 65, I'm not talking about during the day. I'm talking about an average. Okay. All right. Let's hurry and get this going. Um, and fluctuating temperatures is not good. I mean, it's not, people. Um, you can easily get diseases all day long. I mean, I know fish farms and other people I've talked to. Man, if you fluctuate as much as 5 or 6 degrees a day, you're, especially in live bears. I don't know about placos and all this other stuff. Okay, I'm only talking about live bears. You have a chance to actually bring disease in. Okay, all right, whatever. And you know, it could actually be a deformed ick because it's stress. You don't want to stress the freaking fish out. All right. I personally think um, once you get below 68, you're not really helping live bearers out. I think 70 is the most I'm willing to be comfortable with. Again, I'm not going to judge anybody. You all do you, blah, blah, blah. But let's get here to the facts. And this is a fact straight out of the books and personal experience, if you will. Um, if you're raising guppies at 80 degrees, they'll probably be dead in 18 and 21 months. Why? Their metabolism is fast. They need to eat a lot. If you're not feeding them a lot, then they're going to die quicker. Plus, if you are feeding them a lot, you got to do a lot more water changes. If you're not doing a lot more water changes, guess what? Now the water's polluted. So it's a mix and match. While, raised at 74, you might get 30 to 48 months. Again, this came from a study I looked at. I don't quite believe that at all. I think at 74 degrees, I don't know, 2.5 to 3 years. That seems a little high to me. At 70 degrees, I could see almost 3 years. I mean, really, guppies don't live beyond 2.5 to 3 years, period, in my personal experience. But it could be because of my pH, my or not temperatures, um, you know, level. It could be for a lot of things. Anyway, I'm gonna keep going, but that's what somebody else did. So the simplicity of it all, people. If you're raising live bears, the lower the temperature, the longer they live, the slower they breed. The higher the temperature, the faster they breed, but they live a lot less. That's simple. So if you're trying to do breeding tanks, and you're having problems getting a certain, I don't know, tank to breed with live bears, okay? I'm only talking live bears. I don't know, maybe you want to crank up the heat 2 or 3 or 4 degrees and let it go for a few months and see what happens. They may breed a whole lot quicker, but once you get a bunch of fry, maybe move that fry into a different tank. But then again, you maybe move the adults into a different tank that's lower temp because you want the fry to raise up quick. But keep in mind, the quicker they raise, the hotter the temperature, the more waste they have, the more water changes you got to do, or they die. It's that simple. I find 74 to 76 is about the perfect all-around temperature, but that works for me, won't work for you. All right, conclusion. All right, if you're not in a basement, where the temp is constant, 68 to 70 or higher. I don't really think air is needed per se. I don't think heaters is needed if you If your average room temperature does not go below 70, I don't really even think heaters are needed. I'm in a basement, and man, in the winter it gets because lack of heating ducts and everything else, it gets as low as 64 degrees down here. So without heaters in my individual tanks, I'd be hosed. Um, but if you can keep 68 or higher, um, average all year round, especially if you got a tank or two in your bedroom and you're not trying to do an entire fish room, you could probably get by without a heater and probably without an air if you're not going to use a sponge filter and you're going to use a hang on the back. As long as it doesn't get below 68, I think you're probably kosher. They're not going to raise real quick, but you don't have to feed them as much and keep the temperature down. And live plants are a huge help, as you can see there. They're going to help with the water exchange and then convert stuff over, but at a lower temperature. They're also not peeing and pooping as much, if you will, and blah blah blah. So anyway, this is all my entire 2 cents worth. I'm done. I'm out of here. Take it for what it is. If you don't like it, well, please don't give me a thumbs down. Just don't give me a thumbs at all. But if you do like it, give me a thumbs up. Or at least tell me your all's personal experiences on the entire dealio. Alright, laters. Stop recording.